Welcome back. Today we will be taking a big old step into truly establishing the interior to my beautiful beachfront property that is neither beautiful nor on a beachfront by introducing a piece that is a little more than the entrance we completed previously. A piece that brings in grandness, horror, a new type of horror to this building in fact, plus improvements to my interior building skills, and we are going to just get straight into that time lapse. But first, if you like what you see, consider a like and a subscribe, because this year and every year from now on is going to be the year of the shrimp, and that is something you do not want to miss. Okay, I got a lot of work to get done. I will talk to you all in a second. Okay, this took way longer to put together than I expected, and I am on the wire to get this video done on time for you all watching, but regardless, it's done, and I am so happy with how it turned out. It's rare for strange and difficult concepts to work out and make it into a build, but here we are. This is my latest useless interior, the Cosmic Ballroom. Of course, taking a very light exploration into cosmic horror, which is quite different to the dark fantasy type horror the Manor is based on, but we'll talk about this in a second. First, let's look at the ballroom side. It's a bit dark in here, so if it's hard to see, I'll touch it up in edit. That way it instead is weirdly bright for you. But overall, the core concept of the ballroom is quite simple. I have iterations that have a lot more going on, chandeliers, more junk on the floor, staircases, but I decided to ease up on more complicated design due to how busy the rest of the room became. The marquee feature of the ballroom though is the dance floor, representing a simpler cosmic concept, the sun and moon, as well as introducing the overall color palette of the room being yellow and red with a yin and yang type of design here. The whole thing being layered under glass creates a cool effect though, and it should totally be catching your eye as you walk in. I do think I want to make this center bit here a little more interesting, but I simply don't know how. Either way, I'm very happy with the floor design. The other piece to the floor here that really brings out the cosmic, otherworldly, magical feeling you might have noticed, I added them to the courtyard as well. There's fireflies everywhere. In the indoor context of a cosmic themed room, they can be interpreted in a couple ways, all except as fireflies, because the basic white dot textures make them a very versatile ambient particle, and I love them so much for that. They're such a great addition to the game. To me, they feel like little stars dancing around, but simply seen as an otherworldly feeling effect to bring out the strangeness of the room. It works perfectly however you see them. I only wish they were rendered from farther away. While designing, I had them in the eye hole, but they only render if you are close to them, and there's no context where you can be close enough for them to render in over there, unfortunately, but it's alright. In the back, we have a large open window. I wanted to do a stained glass thing with a bit of color, almost church-like, but I really didn't want to mess with the gothic palette I have on the exterior, so I ended up with this combination of black and gray checkered pattern, and I think it ended up being quite cool that way. And the shape of the window partially mirrors the eye on the other side of the room, which is a fun little detail that maintains the theme. Of course, there's a small second floor balcony space. Unfortunately, due to space constraints, only accessible via hallway, but once you're up, there isn't much new to see, just a better view of the mingling below as well as the organist. No safeguards here either. They really clogged up the view and made the design pretty busy, and honestly, as an evil haunted house, do I need guardrails? Last thing to talk about the ballroom side, though, which links straight to the cosmic side, is the roof. The roof is a big piece to the cosmic effect, with the feeling of an endless void seemingly ripping the physical walls away. This effect is achieved with some very tightly placed concrete, a few layers of black glass with some pale buttons mixed throughout to make it feel deep, as well as they look like stars. You can see though if I turn the lights on, it It's very close due to the concrete literally lining the roof of the exterior, and it only really works with a darker room. If those corners get lit up at all, as you can see, it really ruins the effect, which lights off, the angles are invisible, and the roof looks quite a bit more endless than it really is. But yeah, you can see all the cracks in the walls and pieces of that wall sort of floating off into the void. I think it's a really cool effect. It also saved me some roof designing time. Okay, let's talk about the thumbnail ready cosmic side. I know that's what you want to see. First thing to look at is the grand pipe organ. This is a very classical era building, so having space for musicians in a ballroom is very important. And what better musical showpiece than a pipe organ? The pipes themselves are simply brown banners with yellow stripes, but placed on top of stripped bamboo logs with a dark oak background. I think it at least is believably a pipe organ, but it's cool, it's big, and the keyboard part is being played by a classic monster friend. But now we've seen the little monster, let's look at the big monster. Behind and possibly related to the organ is a large porthole portal that contains a mysterious creature that is overrunning the room with its corruption. The biggest piece to cosmic horror, of course, is the big creatures beyond comprehension. And my way of representing that is by obscuring that incomprehensible creature in the void with a glimpse of what it could be from the red tentacle corruption spreading, as well as simply a single eye visible, implying something bigger than imaginable lurking. The organ is also deliberately placed. Could it be summoning, appeasing, or maybe even preventing something? You may have also noticed, as I have toured the room, the creature has been watching us the whole time. Possibly my favorite illusion, one I have used a couple times in this world. Good old excessive depth that allows the eye to stare back as you move back and forth. Overall, pretty simple foreground background effect taking advantage of how objects closer appear to move faster as you move. You know, I don't need to explain that stuff. It's such a cool effect for this room though. Like, no matter what you are doing, as long as you are in this room, there's something staring at you. It's pretty creepy. The corruption tentacles, root things, were a lot of fun to put together. Specifically ones like this that wind around. It's a very organic design. I wanted to make sure it felt truly alive while also being otherworldly. And the mangrove helps a lot with that. It really doesn't feel like wood, and the color is a perfect shade of that red that feels like alive, I suppose. But after that, I think that's everything to point out here. So I hope you like what I did with this room as much as I do, because I love this so much. Just another fantastic piece to my build resume from this single project alone, in my opinion at least. I didn't have time to get to the basement portion, especially since I have my project mess down here still, but it'll be something unremarkable down here. I just have to clean up this platform so it's more stage-like, and the rest of the space will probably be sort of a cellar for storage with some various nondescript drink barrels, stuff like that. You can see the bottom is all dirt because that's where the firefly bushes are. Weirdly and thankfully, as long as the bush is in light level below 7, I think, they'll activate. Doesn't have to be night, but that's perfect for what I need them for. A simple slab and trapdoor cover over the dirt will do the job. Maybe some like support structure beams lining it, make it really feel like a cellar basement thing, but I really don't have time for that right now, and I gotta clean up the shulker mess and that water column I used to save on fireworks. I use the space for copper aging too. It's kind of crazy how time consuming these interiors take. I feel like it's deceptive. Like last episode I did the front entrance and it was like 20 minutes worth of footage, but I easily took like 2 hours to complete that, at least from the various resources I needed and inventory management garbage. Then this room has like 4 hours of footage, which feels crazy. That's as much as I have for the exterior when I built that, but also I had so much resources to gather, and once again, inventory management was a real pain here. Just way more time consumption on this project that isn't seen. I need to go get 4 boxes, I think, worth of sand and gravel, and 3 boxes worth of glass, and run a guardian farm for a while to get ink sacs all for the black void stuff, and then turn all of that into hardened concrete. Sorry, I'm complaining too much. I just hate building interiors. You can really see why I chose not to do the backside though. If we take a look out back, this interior sticks out like crazy, and would have been sticking out way more than it would have, since I can build around it now, because logically the exterior would end around here, sort of following the terrain line, but the eye void alone stretches out so much. Also interesting to see, if you are curious how much depth was required for that eye, it's all the way in the back here. Anyways, you caught me rambling quite a bit there. Before I wrap up, I have a couple extra notes of things also done between last episode and now. First, if we head to the Pale Courtyard, as you saw in the intro, and now you see I've gone ahead and officially edited the world to make the courtyard, and only the courtyard, reside in a pale biome, which, complete game changer. Gray sky, desaturated grass and leaves, so much more interesting and fun to play with. You can see I started adding a bunch of vegetation I couldn't have previously, and some bases to build trees later, and the grass mixed with mud blocks as well give the feeling of soil and dirt on the pale moss grass. This is a very slow burn piece though, and I'll keep slowly updating it as I do the manor. It's so cool. I very much enjoy this courtyard. I also decided I didn't want the pale moss to be all across the entire manor courtyard, just in the pale half, so I went ahead and green moss bombed the non-pale half, and I figured it looked a bit like a golf course. So for now I have a single hole golf course until I get working on this part, which should be my next piece to this project. I want to do this part of the courtyard plus all this space in front as a big garden that is partially an extension of the cosmic theme from the adjacent ballroom. So if you like this project, stay tuned. There's another really cool marquee piece I have coming for this. Last thing of note, there seems to be a poultry infestation in the walls of my manor. Someone has been in here recently, and it wasn't me. That's all I have for the builds today though. I have a couple extra unrelated rambly notes, so if you are only here for builds and not my YouTube journey, you are excused. Otherwise, I want to talk about the year of the shrimp that I mentioned in the intro. I want this year to be a big year for this channel. I have seen good, steady growth up to this point, but I really want to take it to the next level with the goal of explosive growth. First way I can do that is by doing my build world videos a little differently. See, I want to play YouTube's game a little more, with small changes to how I do my video, like my intro today. Making that a lot more snappy, straight to the point, but I still don't want to be totally fake, online personality, YouTuber voice. I want everything you see and hear from myself to be very real, other than the shrimp. Don't tell anyone I'm not actually a shrimp, but I can chill out a bit at this point because the folks watching with the attention span of a fish that need the explosive intro have probably clocked out by now. And if you are watching, you're still here and watching, I appreciate it. You is who I'm making the videos for. Just gotta play YouTube's game so I could find you in the first place. Which, if you are curious how you can help, a little like, a little comment, that goes a long way in telling YouTube to push the video out more. I want my trash to be in more people's faces. Second thing is that I am finally going to expand my content beyond this build world. Even within Minecraft, there's a couple series and one-off videos I'd like to try, I've mentioned before. Maybe even a couple hightail videos, we'll see about that. Otherwise, I do play a lot of videoable games outside of this channel that I've been rather wary of making a video for. I don't want to wreck this channel by doing too much variety, but my last experimental video landed perfectly, so I'm a lot more confident in trying different stuff on this channel. My goal is to hopefully hit at least one video a week, while giving myself the breathing room to maintain an upload schedule for the build world, in case for whatever reason I am unable to get a build world episode out. Build world's not going nowhere, though making these videos are too much fun. And if all goes correct, my next video should be about Deadlock. And if everything I've said comes to fruition, hopefully in a year I'll be looking back at this segment and say, why did I include all of this in the video? I knew it was going to age poorly. This is totally meaningless to anybody watching in the future. But hey, regardless, this is fun. And if you did listen to all that, thank you. You have now made it to the end, and I really appreciate that. So, thank you so much for watching. Feedback is always appreciated, and I will see you all later. Year of the Shrimp, remember that. Tell your friends.